what I realized, what Paul Kagame, president of Rwanda, has been doing for all these past years, he has been creating the system. So even if the leader is not there, this system is going to work for the people. Because this system is not just about presidents, but it's about everywhere. It's about ministers, it's about MPs, it is about companies, it is about this culture, value of Rwandese people that he has already initiated in the country. This is the journey to One Africa. All right, guys, we are right here at Randa Corporation. It's still day 2 in Rwanda. We are here to meet up with one of the ambassadors. He's going to be talking or sharing about one of the strategies that Rwanda took soon after the genocide to grow homes and I think places where people live, right? So we're here and you guys are going to know everything that is happening. Let's go. I am very inspired and very curious to know. I love the way they organize this trip, that we get to learn everything about health sector, but development. You know, now it's homegrown. It's kind of like all kind of sectors to know how they moved from the ashes to where they are today, from zero to hero, right? From nothing to something that close to 100%. So, really impressive.
If you want to have internet, yes.
Alright, guys, we're right here. Already here. Randa Corporation. Welcome to Randa Corporation. And the good thing is you have internet, so it's gonna be good to film everything and to show you guys. Let me take it. I'm Mika from Tanzania. I'm the founder of Swahili Nation, the media that is focusing on reconciliation and uniting the continent.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys. So we just came from Randa Corporation Institute, and this is the institute that were created actually recently for initiative that is Rwanda Home Grown Initiative. And I want to give you a little bit of the background of how this and why this is important. So after the genocide in 1994, what happened is, Rwanda, it started from zero. It had nothing, so it started from exactly zero. And from 1994 all the way to 1998, it was chaos. Everything was zero. Healthcare was not there. Education, houses, infrastructure, everything was destroyed, completely and totally destroyed. So in 1998, all the way to 1999 on March, in this one area called Urugwiro, the president and all the elites, all the leaders of the government came together and they went to this region to carry on the meeting. And this meeting, it has kind of a few factors, or the reason for this meeting. One of them, it was to reflect on what really happened in 1994, why it happened, why genocide happened, when it happened, and how And what are they going to do to make sure that this genocide is never going to happen again? That was the first thing. And the second thing, it was to define the way forward. That, okay, guys, 1994, it has been 4 years since it happened, and we're not moving forward. What are we going to do so that what has happened in 1994 will never happen again? So these were two major issues that they brought them to this meeting, and this region called Orugwiro. And Orugwiro, historically, it is very important place because this is where everything changed from where it was and how it is today. So through this meeting, I already said why genocide happened, ways to move forward, and they realized that there's a different reason that caused the genocide to happen. And the first thing, it was to loss of the culture. That was the reason. So in order for genocide to happen, all those, colonizers and the people who caused that, genocide to happen, they had to make sure that the culture is lost. Because the moment people forget who they are, the moment they forget who they were called to be, the moment they're going to start killing each other. That's why within a range of 1 month, more than 1 million people were slain and killed. Something that never happened in this world before. So the loss of the culture led to genocide. People starting prioritizing their tribes above others, thinking that they're better above the others. It led to that. That's one of the reasons they found out why genocide happened. And so they made a decision that genocide happened because we lost our culture. So what we're going to do is we are going to renew our culture. We're going to teach our culture to our people, to know who they are, to know the history of Rwanda before colonization, before genocide, and how can we move forward. The only way for us to move forward is to remember who we were before genocide happened. So this initiative, basically they focus on the values of Rwanda. So if you have noticed, His Excellency Paul Kagame, wherever he's giving his speech and he talks about Rwanda, he always talks about the values of Rwandan culture. I never understood why, but today I found out that the reason why, it is because they had to take away the culture to destroy Rwanda. And he knew that the only reason to bring back, the only way to bring back Rwanda, we need to talk constantly. We need to renew, we need to reinstate again the values of Rwandese culture. And that will be the only way forward. Also, they made a strategy. They said, okay, we must learn from other developed countries that develop, and then trying to reform all these ways that help them to improve and develop, trying to reshape them into our own culture and changing it into our own culture. So these are things, a few things that they did, to localize these strategies that were used by a lot of developed countries in order to fit into their own culture here in Rwanda. Okay, so they came up with 3 strategies that they were like, okay, this will be our way forward to go where we want to be. And the first thing, which, man, I love it. I think we can use these strategies for the continent of Africa as well. I'll work with this, I'll talk about this, I'll leave this. Actually, I've been leaving this. So it was very easy to connect with these 3 strategies that Rwanda came with in order to change the course of Rwanda again. The first one was thinking big. This is something that I've seen everywhere. Everywhere you go, Rwandese people, Rwanda, they're thinking about think big. Basically, it's this, knowing that we can actually do more than what we do right now. We can achieve more than what we have right now. Sky is not the limit. You know what I'm saying? We can do better than what we do. If we make 400 billion US dollars today, we can make actually 1 trillion US dollar. It is possible. We must think big. We must not categorize ourselves or putting ourselves in these boxes that this is our limit. There is no limit. We must think big every single day for us to improve. Second, unity. They knew that, okay, the enemy only come to divide and to conquer. In order for Rwanda to come back together to reform again between Hutu, Tutsi, and whatever tribe that is out there, in order for us to walk together towards the same destination, we must realize that we're one people. We must come together. We must come up with different initiative that is going to help us to bring together and work together. Forget about everything else. Forget about differences, but holding on to the unity, because that is the future of Rwanda. The last one is accountability. And the gentleman was telling us that when it comes to accountability, man, even the leaders They're making sure that they're accountable with one another. If you're working in the company, you are accountable with your leader. Leader is accountable with you. You need to give report. You need to come up with goals. You need to come up with vision. And you have to make sure that at the end of the year, you achieve them. If you don't achieve them, they will question you. Okay, what have you done? How much have you achieved? Accountability everywhere. And I'm like, this is a country of more than 13 million people. But they manage to go through these 3 strategies and look at where the country is today. Now, every sector, every individual, every company, they live, they breathe, they believe in these strategies. All right, so there are a few things that, man, I'm telling you the truth. There's something that I thought about Rwanda, but now my mind has changed. There's something that I was thinking about Paul Kagame. For example, I'll tell you one thing. A lot of people have been criticizing him staying over power, and they've been wondering and saying that, who is going to be the next leader? And to be honest, guys, even myself, I was wondering, like, okay, I'm wondering who is going to be the next leader. Is he going to be ready to carry on this one day, when Kagame, when Kagame finishes his race? I've been thinking about, but today I came to realize that, man, I should not worry about the next leader because of these strategies and system that I'm going to give to you today. Man, this country is organized. This country is well planned. This country, they know what they do. I told you those 5 things. Know who you are. Know where you're coming from. Know why you're here. Know what can you do. Know where you're going. If you know this, the game over. The first thing, guys. Omushikiano. How can I pronounce this?
Mushikirano.
Omushikirano.
Shikirano.
Shichirano. Shichirano.
Yeah, it's okay. Mushikirano.
Guys, that word. Omushikiano. Guys, I cannot pronounce this. You help me out. Omushikirano. Omushikirano.
Yeah.
Okay, Omushikirano. Guys, okay. They came up with this one strategy called Omushikirano. Basically, this is national dialogue council. So what they do is this, that people come together to discuss about the country matter. Man, I'm like, oh my goodness, this sounds like a parliament in my country. Like people from different backgrounds, the people of Rwanda come together to discuss about the matter of the country. To discuss about, to evaluate all the plans and the way forward for development. They're like, all right, so this is what you promised. This is what we promised about our country. How far have we achieved? And where do we want to be? Where do we want to go? I don't know how often they do this, but these dialogues, these national dialogues, everybody participate. Even in the countryside, everybody participate to discussing about the country and how the ways to move forward. This is togetherness. This is the second strategy. Think big, unity, accountability. This is unity I'm talking about. That, man, I know outside we think, and the media painted to think like this country has been led by one person. But when you look at this, you realize that actually it's the collective effort. The only reason why Rwanda is where it is today, it is because of the collective effort and unity we're talking about. The second thing, let me tell you this, Abunzi. Abunzi, basically it means National Council. So what happened is this, instead of going to the court to solve cases, what they do is they actually decentralized. This is decentralized justice. So instead of you going to the court, they had to decentralize to bring it back to the community. So always there's this, people that are trusted in the community. They call them wise men who actually they will sit down and judge. Actually in the community, so it's in the public open. They try to decentralize everything, and this is one of the strategies that Kagame used and the country of Rwanda used. Everything, guys, in Rwanda is decentralized. It's not just top down, but it's from the bottom up. It's decentralized. Even the health, I was talking about healthcare. It's decentralized. You don't have to go to hospital, but you can actually go to the community. There are people in your community to take care of your health. This is one of the things that I've realized here. So also preserving social cohesion, this is one of the benefits. Reduced backlog. There's so many bureaucracy in our countries in Africa, but this Abunzi is actually Kinyarwanda word, which means, as I said, national conciliator, and everything is just come down all the way to the community. Another thing that they did is this Itorero. This one is the National Civic Education Program. And this program, you actually learn the history of the country, You learn about patriotism. You learn about all this stuff. And a lot of people have already went through this training. You know what I'm saying? Like you get education about the history of the country. You get to understand where the country came from and where country it needs to be. You don't just learn about what happened in 1994. You get to learn what happened before that and what is happening today. Another word called gachacha. Is it gachacha? Gachacha coach?
Yeah.
All right. I appreciate it. And I have my brother here from Rwanda. We've been working together for 3 years. We never met before. We came to Rwanda here. We met for the first time, man. How amazing is that? Gachacha court. So Gachacha court, it was introduced in 2004. So basically, it's homegrown indigenous way to resolve conflict, or we call it public judicial. So basically, as I was telling you before, guys, you know, you have these wise men, people who are trusted in the community sitting there, and then they're judging. And this had happened because after 1994, when genocide happened, they told us that they had, in the entire country, they only had like 8 recognized judges in the country. So imagine the people who committed these crimes, you know, because of genocide, the people who committed that, and how are you going to resolve these cases? If they will just depend on the this judicial system, it would have lasted for 125 years to solve all the cases. That means even right now we'll be dealing with it. But through Gachacha court, these cases were able to be listened within 10 years. Because it's no longer in the private court, but everything is decentralized to the community. And you are being judged in front of the community. And these people, it's not about humiliating them. It's not about that. It's not about look down upon, but it's about understanding what you did and how much you're sorry about what you did. Of course, you're gonna get your justice for what you've done or for the crime you've committed. But it shows me and tells me how much power is being given to the people and to the community. And that's why this community is so strong. And that's why these people, they love the country of Rwanda. They love their leaders. Why? Because not everything is from top down, but these things are decentralized to the local communities. Okay, another thing that is my favorite is Umuganda. Umuganda. This is community service. So basically, every last Saturday of the month, the entire community come together to do community work. So if it is cleaning the road, if it is building, you know, schools or doing that, whatever activities that the community will decide, or these villages will decide, every last Saturday of the month, they meet together and do this work. How important is this? First of all, for connection. Second, to bring people together. Third, even the leaders, if you're a minister, it doesn't matter who you are, you actually attend to this event and participate in this, community work. Another thing is Imihigo. Imihigo is commitment to do something, writing down target of what they are going to achieve. So Imihigo is like, okay, if you're a leader, let's say you're a mayor, you need to write down what you're going to achieve within a single year. And then at the end of the year, you have this ceremony and this Imihigo. Basically, you give your report. How much were you able to achieve? What have you done? You show your work. What have you done? If there's anything that you haven't done, you'll be held accountable there. You'll be asked why you did not do this, why this is not happening. Right, so because of this Inigo, what happened is these people became accountable. Remember, in those 3 strategies, we talk about thinking big, talk about unity and accountability. This is the way of making everybody accountable. So basically here in Rwanda, if you get into the public office, man, it's not a time for you to get money, to earn a lot of money. You're actually shaking, you're actually afraid because you know the level of accountability, because you know how much discipline is going to be required from you. Public offices here, man, is for everybody. Not like in other countries, man, when you go to a minister, you act like you met God. No, man, I met with the Minister of Education today. This guy is just down to earth. Very young guy. We talk, we communicate, he talk with everybody. It's just like you can see the friendship between leaders and people. This is how it's supposed to be. And this is here in Rwanda. We don't talk about this. We don't see it on news. Well, people, they don't talk about this. They just talk about other stuff, man. But this is the reality in the country. Let me give you one testimony. One testimony that this guy was giving to us, this gentleman. He told us that, there's this two white men, they came and they tried to take boda, from one destination to another destination. And they were talking, they thought maybe Rwanda is manipulated, people, they're acting out of fear and all those stuff. So they went to boda. Because the law here is that if you're boda boda, you must have two elements. One is for you, another one is for the customer. So he had these two elements, and the customer said, you know what? I don't want to use this element, and I'm gonna give you extra thousand money. Rwandese money, right? This guy said, no, I'm not gonna take money. You must take this element. And the guy said, no, you know what? I'm gonna add for you 2,000. The guy said no. He even added to 3,000. The guy said no. It's not about money, but it's about having this element is for your own safety. This guy, he left. He went to another border. The same thing happened. So basically, they told us you can go right now outside, ask any border. You can give however money you want to give to him, and tell them to take you from one place to another place without element. They're not gonna give it to you. So what does this tell you? What does this show me? Is that the level of discipline and commitment and understanding in this country is outrageous. You cannot compare. Man, people, they usually tend to do things behind the scene. You know, when the camera is watching on, people watching, they're trying to do something else. But here, the level of discipline, they do anywhere, anytime, anything. They do it. I know, the way I talk about this, you know, I make it seem like Rwanda is a perfect country. Let me tell you this, man. There's no perfect country in the world. There's no perfect leadership in the world. There's no perfect people in the world. All of us were imperfect. But what I appreciate and acknowledge here is the level of commitment, the level of thinking big, unity, and accountability in this country. We don't talk about it. There is another thing called Ubudehe. Ubudehe, it was reintroduced in 2001 as a poverty reduction initiative. Man, in this country, there's so many initiatives, man. So Umudehe basically is, they say that it's an initiative that supports the most vulnerable people in the community. So if you're the most vulnerable person in the community, these initiatives actually will support you. And they have different programs. Right now, it's not only government, but even private sectors. They actually see how they can help, especially in the rural areas. And following up with that, there's another last one that I wrote here called Ginka. So this Ginka is basically one cow per poor family. Actually, it was introduced by His Excellency Paul Kagame. The initiative is that those people who are in the most vulnerable situation, those people who they are completely poor, they've been given one cow, each one of them. So why giving cow? Because once you get cow, it will help you to get milk. It's a food. It'll help you to get fertilizers for your agriculture purposes. And if you want to eat the meat, you will eat meat eventually. But this cow, it will help you. It will take you away from your poverty state to another state. And so far, they gave more than 380,000 cows to different people. So far, they've given them. Okay, in 2020, more than 380,000 cows have been given to these poor families, you know, to sustain their lives. Guys, why did I take my notes? Because I don't really use notes, guys. So if you found like this video is a little bit strange, it's because I'm using my notes. But why did I have to write all of this? All of this, listen, why? To share with you this, that guys, one thing that I love about this initiative is that first of all, these initiatives are being called by the local language, Kinyarwanda. Why is that? So basically what the government is doing is, what the country is doing is going back before genocide, because most of these initiatives, some of them, they were done before, taking it back, bringing it together today. Showing people what does this mean, localizing it in the context of the community for people to understand that this is about me, this is about us, this is about our life, and taking it, applying it in their daily life. So why I am no longer worried about the next leader, whatever time it's gonna be. I was worried before, but I'm not worrying right now. This is the reason, because what I realized, what Paul Kagame, president of Rwanda, has been doing for all these past years, he has been creating the system. So even if the leader is not there, this system is going to work for the people. Because this system is not just about presidents, but it's about everywhere. It's about ministers, it's about MPs, it is about companies, it is about this culture, value of Rwandese people that he has already initiated in the country. So basically, the system is there, is working. You can remove men out of the picture, but the system is already there. Today, you're not going to tell Rwandese people that, okay, don't keep your city clean. No, they're going to keep it clean because it's part of their culture already. You're not going to tell them about, oh, you cannot think big. You're not going to tell them about division. You're not going to tell them about not being accountable. You're not going to tell them about discipline. You're not going to tell them nothing about that because it is the system right now. What he did, this man is too smart, man. What he did, he implemented system. So Rwanda right now, what you see is happening in Rwanda is because of the system that has been created everywhere. Not only in health sector, in defense, in education, in security, in housing, in home affairs, in social affairs, family values, everywhere. The system is there. The system is running the country. Yes, it took the determination, discipline, it took awareness, it took understanding of the history of Rwanda, where it came from, where it is, and where they want to be from this one man and the entire team that he had. But right now, that system has been implemented in the society and in every single heart of Rwandese people, and they know what exactly they want. And that's why one of the things that I've been very surprised whenever I meet with Rwandese people, they always want to go back to their home. They always love their home better than anybody else, any other place. Yes, I know it has positive and negative side of that, but the positive side of this is that you can never love somebody else if you don't love yourself. The level of your love that you will project to somebody, it depends on how much you love yourself. It depends on how much you know yourself. It depends on how much you know where you're coming from. Then you can project on somebody else. You can never love someone more than you love yourself. No. It never happened. If you cannot learn how to love yourself, you're not going to be able to love others. If you cannot learn how to sustain yourself, you're not going to learn how to sustain others. And I'm talking to those people who always help their families. It's a good thing to help your family, but make sure you help yourself. You sustain yourself so that you can have sustainability for your family as well. Otherwise, you stay where you are and you're not going to be able to support your family. And this is what Rwanda's been doing. The system is there. And the country is running. So to those haters, to those negative thinkers, take these 3 lessons today. Think big, unity, accountability. Let me add one more in Rwanda, it's everywhere. Discipline. And as I say, this is the land of possibilities. That's the new nickname I'm giving to Rwanda. Hashtag Rwanda, the land of possibilities. Kwizera Mugisha.